Welcome back, guys. Thank you for tuning in. So, I wanted to talk about this statue that has just been placed in New York, and I think this is in Times Square. I'm getting this article from Gothamist by Hannah Frischberg and Ryan Calath. So, it's basically saying a statue of a black woman in Times Square sparks discourse, inspiration, and internet hate. So, the article reads, a new statue in Midtown has been generating a lot of discussion, praise, and vitriol. In the less than 2 weeks since artist Thomas J. Price's 12-foot tall, bronze grounded in the stars sculpture, which depicts a young black woman dressed in everyday clothes and standing with her hands on her hips, has been installed in Times Square, it has inspired a great deal of in-person intrigue and an online discourse of both love and hate. This is director of Times Square Arts is saying, what makes presenting public art in Times Square so incredible and so powerful is that you know that you are going to get the widest range of reactions and perspectives, said Gene Cooney. And he's the director of Times Square Arts, the group behind the work. Now, mind you, this statue is not permanent. This is, I think it's going to be there for a few weeks. I don't think it's permanent. So you cannot call yourselves the crossroads of the world without being prepared to host a crossroads of opinions, said Cooney. On a recent sunny Thursday, people passing the statue expressed feelings ranging from positive to apathetic. I'm happy that it shows black women in our bodies because they body shame people too much, said Kiara English. Someone else said, I think it's beautiful. I love to see it. I wish we would see more of it, said Chanel Moore, adding that she was unsure if the statue depicted a specific person. It in fact depicts an amalgamation of people Price has met. Ayanna Joseph called the statue a win for representation that she could see herself and her daughter in. In many forums and comments online, the work is also being heralded as an empowering, accessible work that gently challenges conventional standards of beauty and representation through its existence. In other corners of the internet, however, the piece has been met with angry comments or held up as evidence of the wokes attempting to take power from nearby statues which depict white male historical figures. Cooney said that the internet's response is incongruous with the responses she's observed in person. Our offices overlook this work so we really can anecdotally observe how many people are actually taking pause. And I would say more than most of our artworks, people are actually stopping and reading the signage too, said Cooney. She said she's noticed a true debate forming, highlighting an Instagram slideshow illustrating various viewpoints. Dr. Kelly Morgan, founding executive producer of the Black Artists Archive, a Detroit-based nonprofit that works to preserve Black art history, said she was aware of the statue but not the hate. But she also wasn't surprised. People have a hard time when there is an image of humanity or an image of labor or an image of freedom that isn't a white man. We're so socialized into seeing it, said Morgan. When people see something they recognize, but they don't necessarily see themselves in it in the way they used to, I think it creates a cognitive dissonance. Laureen Cumbo, the city's commissioner of cultural arts, said that her office is exploring a new ways to reflect the city's diversity in its public artwork. And that is exactly where my mind went. I think in the past few months, we have been dealing with the fact that a lot of companies are rolling back DEI because of the political pressure. And I think that's the reason why this statue is significant. I heard some commentators stating that, this woman has no significance. Nobody know who she is. She she has not accomplished anything. Why is she there? And I think she more so embodies and represents the diverse nature of not just New York, but I mean around the world. She represents, I think it's like perfect timing. A lot of DEI being rolled back, but here is this statue representing, a lot of the population. So I agree with Lori. It just reflects the city's diversity. Price's contribution to this conversation is a powerful and eye-opening approach to public artwork, granting the sort of honor and reverence to the figure of a Black woman, one that could be someone's sister, mother, child, or neighbor, that is more typically reserved for men on horseback. Cumbo said in an email. Price said in a statement that he hopes Grounded in the Stars will instigate meaningful connections and bind intimate emotional states that allow for deeper reflection around the human condition and greater cultural diversity. So that's exactly where my mind went. It went towards, diversity, just everyday people seeing themselves in a statue, seeing themselves being celebrated. All of these, people who can relate to the statue, they are represented in so many different places. They're police officers, they are teachers, they are bus drivers, and this is what an everyday person looks like. They're not necessarily models. They're not gonna, be the, the model size and things like that. So I don't see anything wrong with an everyday middle class person being represented in a statue. Several companies have, scaled back and even abandoned their DEI programs. One major one that everybody has been talking about is Target. So not only Target, Lowe's has done it, McDonald's has done it, Walmart has done it. We knew Walmart was going to do that because of what they did during the pandemic, where they seem to be targeting Black people by placing cameras in the aisles that provided Black products. Meta has done it, Amazon has done it, and a lot of people talked about, boycotting Target, but I didn't hear anybody boycotting Amazon. I was talking about boycotting Amazon, and Amazon has become really big. So the Supreme Court's decision to eliminate affirmative action in college admissions has created a legal environment where some companies are hesitant to implement DEI initiatives that could be seen as discriminatory. Many companies have faced criticism and pushback from conservative groups and individuals for the DEI efforts, leading some to reconsider their approach. Some companies are Some companies are citing financial reasons, including cost-cutting and mergers, for scaling back DEI programs. Some argue that DEI programs can hinder merit-based hiring and promote diversity over qualification, leading to a shift away from these programs. So Meta has disbanded its DEI team and canceled some equity-focused programs, according to App Economy Insights. Amazon has removed references to diversity and inclusion from its 2024 annual report, according to Forbes. Walmart has ended certain diversity programs and is removing diversity and DEI language from internal documents, according to Newsweek. McDonald's has scaled back its DEI initiatives, citing legal concerns and evolving business needs, according to Axios. Target has announced the end of its DEI goals, citing a changing legal landscape and increased legal threats, according to the Columbus Dispatch. Lowe's has scaled back its DEI policy, citing the Supreme Court's ruling and public pressure, according to Raconteur. So that's just some of the companies. Other companies include Deere and Company, Harley, Ford. Um, let's see here. Boeing, Brown Forman, Goldman Sachs, Apple, PepsiCo, Google, Disney. You know what? I'm not even mad at Disney because I've been on a Disney cruise before and they are amazing. They are amazing. The way they treat their employees, the way they treat their clients. So I can't imagine that even if they rolled back anything or made any change, I can't imagine that it would be, you know, any less of kind of service or quality of, their treatment. So Molson Coors, Toyota, Caterpillar, I never heard of them before, Costco, JP Morgan, and Accenture. PepsiCo is on here as well. So let's see here. Companies are scaling back their diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives largely due to the shifting political and social landscape that ironically mirrors the volatility one often observes in trading environments. Okay. Oh, so it's basically 30 companies that did it. I don't know why Target is the one that everyone has been talking about. So I think that's the reason why this statue is significant in the wake of that, that those things happening, because we actually thought that we were making some progress when we saw DEI. We thought that we were making some progress. So I don't see why that is something that needed to be changed. Enforcing things like that is important. We've seen how when things like that are not in place, how, people of, different groups get treated or mistreated. That was the case when it came to, I think it was Abercrombie and Fitch, the CEO. I think it was, what is his name? Jeffries. Was it Jeffries? They had like a lawsuit. A mass amount of employees were being maltreated. They wouldn't be able to get day shifts because, they didn't want the people of different ethnicities and Black people to be out in the day, all kind of craziness. They only gave them night shifts. So in order to hinder things like that and maltreatment, then, these programs kind of set those standards and boundaries, but instead now they're being rid, and I don't know if it's going to cause any difficulty for minorities or not, but I think that's the significance of the statue, is to represent, diversity. So what do you guys think? Do you think that the statue has that connection or that meaning in the wake of what is going on right now? Or do you think that it's meaningless and it has no significance and it just shouldn't be there? I like it. I think it was a good idea. I was listening to one report, and this, reporter was specifically asking, what about, the statue where the pose where she has her hands on her hips? What do you think about that? And automatically, people run to, the stereotypical kind of, oh, she looks like she's upset kind of thing. And I think that was unfortunate because she doesn't look like she's upset. She's just posing. She doesn't look like she's aggressive. She doesn't look like, I just think that was a huge misinterpretation. And maybe I wish that, there was a different pose, because I didn't want it to stand for that, you know. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Definitely look in to see what feedback you have. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for tuning in.